I'm not as satisfied, especially with how the last game ended. I didn't mind making a mistake, you know. I just did what I felt was right, and I did it wholeheartedly. I wasn't scared. I wasn't, static. I trusted my teammates that they're going to play their best game. I'm going to play my best game, and that together is enough to win.
So today is the first day of MSI, and FlyQuest just took an important victory in the playoff stage against PSG Talon with a 2-1 score. Bwipo today is here with me, the top laner of the team, after a very strong performance on Urgot and Olaf as well. How are you feeling? What are your immediate thoughts after this match?
Oh, I'm just really happy to be back on the international stage. I that's my first thought. That was my first thought initially after playing. I'm happy that I in games 2 and 3 could play like I remembered myself playing. Like I never second guessed myself or my teammates. I made the best decision that I thought was I made the decision that I thought was best in the moment. And if I made a mistake, I simply apologized and kept focused on the next move. And if I made a good play, then I celebrated and focused on the next move.
And I mean, as you said, it's also your first international tournament in quite a while. Your last one was with Fnatic, I think, Worlds 2021, right?
Correct, yeah.
And yeah, and also, I mean, recently you've mentioned that you've been really stepping up compared to 2022, especially.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a very strong level at the moment. I mean, obviously, today we saw your Urgot games, which were very impressive in particular. I think in game two, that play when PSG stole the Nashor and then you like flashed over the wall and like got two people as well, kind of
Mm-hmm.
like salvaged the move as well. There was a lot of plays like this which were very, very impressive. Um, how are you tackling this event, and do you
Mm-hmm.
feel ready as well to face against international tops like from Korea and China, for example?
Well, I have an appointment with most likely Zeus. I guess it's not 100%, but yeah, probably. So, how I approach every international event is making sure that individually I'm capable of executing the majority of meta matchups. And then when I personally think the meta matchups don't suit me, I prepare different blind picks with the right bans or specific counter picks. So, I always make sure I'm individually strong enough to perform on those champions. And I always try to find angles for those champions because I firmly believe that one needs to play to their own strengths in international events. You got here for a reason. If you're going to play what everyone else plays, they probably are going to be better than you. So I like bringing my own flavor every event. However, I recognize the importance of being flexible in draft and being able to play the meta when necessary. So in today's drafts, I think I, you know, got to show off my, preparation side where I have something unique. But that's not the only thing I have ready.
I mean, in a way, your playstyle, though it is different, it can be a bit compared to BDS top laner Adam as well, who
Yeah.
brought in his God's champion last year as
Mm-hmm.
well at Worlds. Do you have any other spicy picks we can expect, by the way? I mean, obviously, we saw you
Of
take out the
course.
Gangplank, even though it didn't go so well in the LCS finals, but
True. Yeah, I lost,
maybe
but I
even the
think
Singed.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I have a lot of picks people know me for. Obviously, which ones I have ready for the event or I think are good in the meta are always going to change. But for me, bringing excitement to the game and finding unique picks that people, look forward to seeing is something that's really important as a professional player. You got to have something in the back pocket that people want to watch.
Going into this series, one of the big question marks was going to be how the rookies of the team will be
Mm.
performing internationally. And earlier, I think you said in your interview that you were happily surprised as well with how the players in the bot lane have been performing, or just, I guess, reacting to international play and adapting as well. How excited are you for this lineup? Do you think that you guys have what it takes to make a deep run? And do you think that they are ready to adapt as well to stronger competition even?
For me, allowing our rookies in the bot lane to come into themselves as players is the most important factor of this event. Whether we can make it far or not doesn't really it's not something I worry about. Winning doesn't come from hoping you'll win or thinking you'll win. Winning comes from playing well. And being focused on winning doesn't make you play well. Focusing on playing well makes you play well. So for me, I really wanted to pass the torch from my experience when I was a rookie in 2018. That was the year where on Fnatic I was good enough to hang with the best. I could lane. I could maybe even, if the conditions are right, win a lane against some of the best players in the world. But for the most part, mid game, I had no decision making power. Couldn't lead my team and tell them what I needed them to do, how I wanted them to do it. I didn't have any way of actually carrying a team, like how do you rally four other players to play to your vision of the game? I put in a shitload of effort over summer and worlds to make sure that I could be that guy. And for me, I want to kind of kickstart that feeling for them where they can truly lead a whole team by themselves, whether that be, by themselves or on this team where, they have me and Inspired help them. Either way, every single player on my team, I want to evolve to a level where they can lead the game. And when I have a bad game, they can take over for me. You know, that's really what I aspire for them. And that's really the main focus, is that they can carry that torch and teach the next generation of NA talent how to truly take over a game. Because I think that that's the number one thing I've noticed being missing in NA, that truly carrying a game from start to finish, and someone even micromanaging your teammates and telling them, I need you to do this, this, and this for me so I can do this and I will carry the game. Or later in team fights, use your spell on this guy, I'm going to do this and I'm going to carry the team fight. Like, this kind of communication is so important to be the absolute best, because even when your teammates are fantastic, not everyone's going to have always the same point of view. So being able to make everyone get on that same page just like that through a couple of seconds of communication is an invaluable skill. And then obviously you got to be good enough individually to perform. And I told Massu and Busio this actually at this event. I told them, look, guys, I think you can be the next generation of goats in America. I firmly believe that Massu can be as big as Doublelift when it comes to performance, at least. Obviously, his fan base, maybe. I don't know about that, but I know that when it comes to individual skill, he can be even better. I think he can set international records for NA. Together with Busio, I think they're extremely talented. And I really am trying to push them to take that responsibility and feel that, because I think that they've got it in them, and it would be a damn waste if they didn't make use of it.
I think by now everyone has heard the infamous interview with Inspired after the LCS finals, where he mentioned that Jensen was playing a bit too vegan, and maybe there was a bit of disagreements, I guess, during that end of the LCS. How is the team environment looking right now? And do you think that maybe this time in between the finals and now has helped you to rebound as a team and find a way to be more on the same page, for example, as well?
I think definitely it's been better. Obviously, a lot of stress because it's international competition, so it's not easy. But I think Jensen has done a fantastic job today. And even though, like for example, in game 2, like he ended up dying to a gank, and then he took an arrow to the forehead and died again, and it just didn't phase him. And I think that that's where his experience really showed, where he was able to stay calm and continue to play the game at his maximum. So for me, even though I guess I worry about Jensen Inspired the least, and I mention them the least because I just trust that they'll show up. So for me, the focus really is on our bot lane and trying to help them. And I guess I want to apologize for not praising him enough, because I think he, generally speaking, plays really well, and he's always very consistent. Me personally, just so worried about my bot lane. Like they're like for me, I came to NA actually because I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to kind of help the region get on their feet and be performers internationally and truly make a difference. Because back in Europe, I felt like I'm never going to be greater than Wunder. I'm never going to be greater than Caps, Perks. Hell, like, there's Jankos there. There's Mickey X, like Reckless, Hilly. Like, I cannot never be greater than them, really, unless a miracle would happen and I don't know, they'd stop playing. So I wanted to go to a region where I could truly make a difference. And I felt like helping rookie players come into themselves and teaching, kind of spreading that responsibility of like, hey, you're on a team. This is how you carry and rally 4 players all to come to your cause. That was my goal. That's really what I wanted to accomplish. And I think these 2 guys are my ticket to revolutionizing the region. I think, APA last year for me, like I tried to help him a bit, but I think I had my own struggles, so I couldn't quite follow through on that, and I regret that. So it's time for me for this year to truly give it my all and really help what I think is the backbone of NA and going to be the future of it.
Recently, the hope of LCS fans maybe haven't been at their best. Most fans maybe don't believe too much in the region and in the teams. What would you say in order to maybe convince them to believe in you again and believe in Team Liquid as well?
For me, I think that the amount of hard work Team Liquid and FlyQuest are putting in to be the absolute best is exactly what a region needs to surpass their past. I think it reminds me of 2018 when I came in. We are putting in similar amounts of hours, and that's like extremely important and cannot be understated, that you need to put in the hours to catch up. You can't just change something about your routine or be more aware or whatever. No, you need to have that awareness in game, and that comes from grinding, so that you don't have to even think about mechanics. You're only thinking about what more you can do. And for me, I want to change the mindset, because I think that the biggest issue I've had playing in NA is over the years that I've played is, I feel like a lot of players are all about like, I've done this and that was sufficient. But that's just a loser's mindset. Your mindset should never be that. Your mindset should always be, I've done this, but how do I do more? And that is what I'm trying to really ground into my bot lane. How do you do more? How do you communicate better? How do you play individually better? What can you do to squeeze the absolute maximum out of your champion at any given time? And every single factor that plays into that, whether that's communication, individual mechanics, decision making, you should always aspire to do more. And I think I've really been able to get that through. And I'm extremely proud of my bot lane, and also Jensen, because I think that for him, that was also something hard, because I think that was kind of the culture in NA. Obviously, I don't want to speak for every team and every player. I don't know. That was simply my experience, working with players in NA. Even when I was doing some freelance coaching back in 2013, I noticed that was what was happening a lot of the time. That was the focus, and it's time for that to die. It's time to ask ourselves how we can be the absolute best and how we can do the absolute most to achieve victory as an individual player on the Rift and an individual champion.
Well, we do have to close out, unfortunately, but just to close up the interview without going into in-depth thoughts, but what are your expectations for this tournament? Are you aiming for top 4 maybe, or maybe lower than this, higher than this?
No. Like I said, winning is not what I'm focused on. I'm focused on making sure that as a team, as all of us individually, we feel that call to step up and do the absolute most our champions can do on the Rift, and then be there for each other when anything goes sideways, anything goes wrong. I want us all to feel that urge. When I make a mistake on the Elder and I misplayed, I don't want us to look at that play and think, well, Bwipo fucked up, that's why the play went south, let's move on. I want every single player to take their time looking at it individually. What could I have done despite that? And the opposite for me too. When something went wrong in a team fight, what could I have done to keep the game alive? What could I have done to still find a winning angle for my team, even though mistakes were made? That is what I aspire to really focus on in this MSI, and we're scaling up.
I hope to talk to you again soon, and good luck with the rest of your matches.
Thank you very much.